this one hit me in the feels when I first watched it. It hit me in the feels when I rewatched it. And it hit me in the feels when I was editing this video. Now, I have thoughts. I have thoughts about the first Afterlives cinematic, and I'm not going to beat around the bush because there is a lot to unpack. Now, like with my other videos discussing cinematics, cutscenes, trailers, etc., I'm not going to hit every note and reiterate what dozens of people have probably already said or will say. But that being said, there were massive, and I mean massive, lore implications in this cinematic that I don't think everyone will catch on to. So with that being said, first things first, to get things started here, the Kyrian admit that they don't care who you are or who you used to serve. Uther brings up his service to the light, what happened on Azeroth, and the Kyrian just kind of throw it out. And while some people might not think much of this, it actually confirms something. His mention of the light had no effect on Davos, meaning that the light has no power or influence in the Shadowlands. And I'm not talking about the power itself. I'm not talking about the ability. I'm talking about the entity, one of the 6 seats at the high table. The light, its Naru, its followers, they are all nulled in the Shadowlands. And if the light doesn't have a presence, that means the void doesn't have a presence as well. Which might mean that the chosen of the light, the chosen of the void, the Naru, the old gods, and others, they might not go before the Arbiter when they die. Now, could this change? Could the light and the void exert their dominance on the Shadowlands? Could their servants go before the Arbiter? Well, we are going to rip open the sky and directly connect our reality with theirs, so maybe? The void does want to consume everything, and the light wants to convert everything, and by connecting Azeroth to the Shadowlands, it makes the Shadowlands something within our reality, so given the two realities are now conjoined, it's possible, and I'll leave it at that before I delve into some sort of rabbit hole. The second thing I wanted to touch upon, possibly the biggest implication most might skip over considering a multitude of different things, the Kyrian talk about a dark evil locked in the Maw. When Uther is concerned about Arthas, what he is doing on Azeroth, they tell Uther that everything is fine, that the Shadowlands is safe.
There is an evil that must be...
There is no evil here. The darkness was sealed within the Maw long ago.
You're wrong.
Originally, I thought they were talking about Arthas. I thought the cinematic was implying that the portion of Uther's soul taken by Arthas was freed after the shattering of Frostmourne, and it was the reunification of those two fragments that made Uther whole enough to be judged and sent to Bastion. I was wrong. The evil they are talking about is not Arthas. It is not even the jailer. You see, there's a man in the Maw, locked and chained up. He is called the Rune Carver. He is responsible for forging Frostmourne and the Helm of Domination for use by the Legion, and he will be responsible for creating our legendaries during Shadowlands. Frostmourne, namely Frostmourne's runes, are placed in heavy emphasis on multiple occasions in the cinematic, and when Davos experiences the reflection of Uther's past, the Kyrian took the presence of Frostmourne as a very, very big deal. But not because of the blade, but because of the runes.
The runes on his blade were unmistakable. This dark agent runs free on a mortal world with the power of the Maw itself in hand.
Now, if you put 2 and 2 together, it's implied they are referring to the Rune Carver, once to Uther, and again after Davos' concern is brought to the Archon. Call me crazy, but I once speculated that the ancient evil locked in the Maw is not the jailer, it is not Arthas, nor an old god, but the Rune Carver. Now, I could be wrong, but the connection is there, and there has to be a reason Blizzard has chosen to put such a massive emphasis on Frostmourne and an ancient evil. Only time will tell, however, if anything comes of it. And lastly, for my final point, I felt like I had to say something on this. The way they did Arthas in this cinematic, it was damn good. It was damn good. In a previous video, I talked about Arthas and redemption, and one of the points that I made is that Arthas was an awful person. He does not, in any way, deserve redemption. Arthas got what he deserved, and Blizzard seems to be leaving it at that. Although I could see him making an appearance when Sylvanas finally kicks the bucket, which I speculated on in that video I mentioned earlier. You can go watch that right here. But as for this video, this cinematic was great. Like all the ones they've done in the past, it was beautiful. Here's hoping that all the others in the Afterlives series follow that trend. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding this video, Warcraft, or its lore, you can leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to read each and every one of them. Thanks for watching.